The clock is ticking. Sequence 17. He looked perfectly happy as he sat down at the table and commenced his breakfast. He was humming happily to the song that was playing on the radio as he ate. Halfway through his breakfast, 𝚬𝚐 entered the room and approached the end of the table where he was sitting, informing him that his phone was ringing. "Who is calling?" he demanded. He hated to be disturbed during breakfast unless it was really important. "Matilda, get me the phone quickly." He stood up. 𝚬𝚐 hurried out of the room and returned a few minutes later. He grabbed the phone of her hands and just as he was about to answer, it stopped ringing. "You see what you have caused," he snapped. "I am sorry, master." "𝚬𝚐, do you know that you are a fool?" "Yes, master, I am a fool," she answered softly. His phone rang again before he could respond. "Hey my darling, did you love the dress I sent you?" "For the love of God, Thomas, stop following me around. Leave me alone," she screamed on the other end of the line. "My love, I am not your love, you fool," she yelled. Her voice was cold. "You are injuring my heart, baby. I hate you, Thomas, and if this continues I will have no choice but to go back to the police." "You hate me," he yelled back. "Is this because of that stupid boy 𝚘𝚘𝚘? How do you know about 𝚘𝚘𝚘? I know everything, my darling. Oh please, yes please, you and I are going to be together whether you like it or not. You are sick. I love you, can't you get it? This isn't love, Thomas, you need to see a doctor." "Stop telling me I need to see a doctor, I am perfectly fine. I am just a man in love." Knowing this conversation wouldn't take them anywhere, Maddie ended the call. After she hung up, she sat still for a moment, her insides burning with anger. She needed someone to talk to and she knew the right person to call. Thomas clenched his fist tightly as an anger swept through him like a surge of electricity. "Master, are you okay?" 𝚬𝚐 asked. He looked at his phone before finally throwing it across the living room and watched it smash to pieces up against the wall. "Master," 𝚬𝚐 exclaimed, "to get me my car keys, I am going out." 𝚬𝚐 didn't move. "I said get me my car keys," he yelled. "He won't allow you to go anywhere in this state." "What's the meaning of this, 𝚬𝚐? At least drink your medicine first." "Get me my keys," he yelled out, his hand slammed down on the table. "I am sorry but I can't get you those keys." He stood in front of her and stared at her. She knew what was coming next. He suddenly grabbed her by her wrist. She tried to shake him off but his grip was too strong. Then he grabbed her by her neck and pinned her up against the wall, strangling her. Her eyes were nearly popping out of their sockets. She struggled to break free by kicking him. He squeezed her throat so hard until she could hardly breathe. When she finally came round, she was lying on the floor, coughing. "Don't you dare question my orders," he yelled. He left the room and went to grab his car keys from the shelf. "When I come back, you better be ready for me," he said, marching towards the door. She gathered the little strength she had, then she stood up slowly and grabbed a vase, hitting him on his head. He moaned in pain as he fell down to the floor holding his head. "I am sorry, master, I had to do this to save you," she whispered. ****Chard stepped out of the bathroom wrapping a blue towel securely around his stomach. He walked into his room and found Salma sitting upright on his bed. She had his phone in her hands. "Maddie called," she said. He extended his hand to her so she could give him his phone. She shook her head with disgust and handed the phone back to her. He quickly redialed her number and stuck the phone to his ear. "Hey, you called?" "Yes. I was taking a bath, TSUP. "Oh, are you okay? Your voice sounds low." "I am fine," she lied. "Matty." "Okay fine, I am not okay." "What's wrong?" "I can't talk about it on phone." "Are you at the office?" "No, I am just home." "Okay, I will pass through on my way to the office." "I will really appreciate. See you later." Hanging up the phone, he placed it on the bed. He attempted to turn around but he couldn't avoid Salma's angry eyes on him. "What? Who was that?" "A friend. A female friend." "Yes. Why? You don't keep female friends, 𝚘𝚘𝚘. Who is she?" she asked, this time her voice louder. "She is my friend." "Is she the reason you have detached from me?" 𝚘𝚘𝚘 shook his head. He had been dreading this argument for weeks. "Answer me," she yelled. "Salma, don't raise your voice at me. Or else what?" "Or else I will kick you out of my house." She stood up and laughed roughly. "I knew it. So now Salma is old meat. You have found someone fresh to fuck." "Salma, what?" He hung his head. He had made many mistakes in his life, especially with women. He just wanted to make things right, even though he knew others would get hurt in the process. I think we should take a break. The words finally rushed out of his mouth before he could stop them. A break? She asked in disbelief. Yes. Are you serious? Yes. You want to break up with me? This was never a relationship in the first place, and you know that. How can you do this to me? After using me, you will discard me like some piece of trash. I didn't force you now, did I? You knew I was incapable of committing to one woman, and yet you accepted to go out with me. This was a no-strings-attached relationship, remember? I hate you, she screamed at him. This is for the best. I didn't mean to hurt you. I will get back at you for this, I swear. Salma. She raised her hand to silence him. He closed his mouth instantly. There was no need in arguing with her. She grabbed a small bag and packed her stuff in it. Then she stormed out of the room in a fit of rage while letting out a string of curses at him. ****.